This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, good evening and as well as good morning.
Good morning.
Yep, very good morning. So last session we discussed about how to install all the required softwares for MuleSoft, right?
Yes.
Okay, I hope everyone installed all the required softwares, right?
Yes.
So now today we are gonna start our actual classes. Okay, so what are all the softwares required for MuleSoft? So we need Anypoint platform, Anypoint Studio, Postman. These three are the mandatory things, and Git and as well as GitHub. Okay, these two also we require. Apart from that, there will be some communication channels. So these it may be vary depends upon organization to organization. Some people they are gonna use Teams. Okay, some people they are using Slack. Okay, it depends upon the organization that they are going to help us how to install this software, Slack and other communication tools. Okay, so what we discussed with the Anypoint Studio, first thing is easy installation of Anypoint Studio. We already installed this, right? How to install this? I explained. Let me delete these two. Okay, let me clear this. Okay, as soon as you open your studio will be look like this. Okay, so let me come back here. See, this is the Anypoint Studio anatomy. Okay, in the left hand side you can see the package explorer. Okay, basically whenever if we create any kind of project, that project will come and sit over in this area. This area we can call it as package explorer. So this area, can you see here they mention name as well, package explorer. This complete portion I can say this is the package explorer up to this. Okay, then this area I can call it as a canvas. Sorry, so this area I can call it as a canvas. See, this empty area is there, right? This I can call it as a canvas. And this is the mule palette. In mule palette, all our components connectors will be available. Okay. From mule palette, we are gonna drag and drop the component and we are going to place in the canvas. Okay. This area I can call it as canvas. Okay, this is the canvas, this is the mule palette, and you can see last but not least this area we can call it as a console. So what is the use of this console? By using this console, okay, here we can see our actual output. Okay, once we deploy our application we can see the output, or if your application is deployed or failed, that status also we can see. If it is deployed, we will get the success message deployed. If it is failed, we can see the message and error response as well. Why it is failed? Okay, it will display the line number and everything, so that easily we can identify that. Clear? Okay. Next. So this is the complete anatomy of Anypoint Studio. Now, uh, let me create one brand new project. Okay. If you want to create a project, we can create in two ways. First thing, just click here, create a mule project. It will populate new window. Here we have to provide the project name. Okay. So this is one way, or else once you create a project first time, next time onwards you will not get this option here. Next time whenever you want to create a project, click on file, new, mule project. Okay, just remember this. We can create project in two ways, from here and as well as here. Okay, click here, provide the project name. So here I will mention session 1. Okay, so runtime automatically it will select the mule runtime 4.3.0 and then click on finish. As soon as you finish this, see in the package explorer the complete project structure got created. Whatever I explained earlier. So this package explorer complete project structure got created. See here you could see so many folders are there. Okay, so many folders, something will be there. Let me explain one by one. First folder, can you see? src main mule, src main java, src main resources. Okay, like this it is going to be created total 6 folders. Can you see here? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, let me explain about all the 6 folders. So here src main mule, here by using this in this folder, if you expand this you will get session1.xml. Here we are going to create our flows, whatever the flows you want to develop, that you are gonna create over here. Okay, under src main mule. Next, if we have any java related code that you are going to create your src main java. Okay, this is for our mule related project. This is if you have any requirement java, that java files you can create over there in the second file. And coming to third one, source man resources. Just open this, you can see here a page will be there. So in the source man resources you can keep different kinds of files. Different kinds of files means you can keep your property files over here, you can keep your json file over here, you can keep your visual file over here. Okay, like this you can keep different files over here. I can say other files we can keep in the source man resources. Now clear? First 3 folders, what we can do? In the first folder we can create a mule flows. Second folder we will keep our java project related code. And the third folder, source man resources, here we can keep some other files. Other files are nothing but your JSON code, visual code, data view code, okay, then your raml code, everything you can keep under these folders. So this is the folder structure which we need to follow in the organization as well. Okay, you can see the same remaining 3 folders will be same name, but src test java, src test resources, src test a minute. Whatever the folders or files you created here, first 3 folders, If you want to write a test cases for that, you have to use the remaining three folders. Suppose if you want to write test case for Java, you can write over here. If you want to write test cases for your WSDL or JSON, okay, or some property for anything, you can write over here. And if you want to write your test case for your actual XML flows, you can go with this source test munit. Okay, clear up to now all the six folders? Any queries, please let me know here, because this is very important and this is very basic as well. Any questions? Okay, I will take
No.
it as okay, cool. Okay, next. So by default, as soon as we install this, we will get this HTTP and socket. By default, we will get these two connectors. Okay, HTTP by default, we will get all the required jars and everything. We will get socket also we will get, and also mule runtime 4.3 which we selected. Okay, in the source and target folder, whatever the project which we created, it will go and store over here. And then mule artifact.json. Here what will happen, here we can set up the minimum runtime version over here. See, if you want to run, like, see, minimum mule version is 4.3.0. If you want to run with the mule version 4.2.0, you can change over here. So that is the use of this mule artifact.json. Next, form.xml. So by default in Mule 4, every project is a Mavenized project. Okay. So right, Maven. Maven is nothing but it is one kind of the build tool. Okay. Here we are going to add all the dependencies. Okay. Can you see here? Form.xml. If I open this form.xml, we can write everything over here. Properties, dependencies. See, dependencies you can write. Okay, our repositories we can write over here. All the dependencies we will keep here. Form is nothing but project object model. Okay, here we are going to keep all our dependencies. Okay, now can you see here, by default we have two connectors, right? HTTP and socket. If you see the dependencies, you can see mule HTTP connector. This is the connector. Okay, 1.15.25. This is the version. Okay, similarly we have a socket connector. See, what is the version? 1.2.1. This is the version. Only we have two dependencies right now. Clear? Now if I add any module over here, let me add something. Module, imagine, let me add file over here. As soon as I add it over here, automatically it reflected in your project as well. Can you see here? File added. As soon as it got added here, automatically it is going to reflect in the form.xml. See, earlier two, right? Now you can see one more added, that is called file connector, mule file connector. What is the version? 1.3.4. This is the version. Okay, clear? Okay, let me close this, save it and close. So this is the complete structure. Okay, package explorer. I hope I explained everything here. If you have any queries, let me know, or else I'll go for further. Okay, now let me come back here. Canvas. This area we can call it as a canvas. So to get started, drag an operation or scope from the mule palette. If you want to start your application, always you have to drag and drop the component from the mule palette. So for this, coding is not required. Okay. So what I can see in the console, you can see three things: message flow, whatever you drag and drop, that it is going to be visible here, and the global components. If you want to configure anything globally, that is going to be displayed in this area. Next, configuration.xml. So whatever the components which we developed here, automatically backend code will be generated. Now can you see here, only four 5 lines of code is there. Now what I will do, I am going to take one listener. Sorry, I drag logger. Let me take a listener. Okay, this I can call it as a listener. Okay, as soon as I drag and drop these, automatically backend XML code will be generated. Click on this configuration XML. Now earlier 5 lines of code was there. Now we can see total 10 lines of code was there. Did I wrote any 5 lines of code here? No, right? By default, if I drag and drop something, automatically code will be generated in the backend. So that is the beauty of this Anypoint Studio. Okay. Now let me talk about this listener. What is this listener? What is the use of this listener? Okay. See, basically this Anypoint Studio, it's a based on Eclipse Common Java Integrated Environment. Okay. Two-way editing between graphical and XML. Okay. See here listener is there, right? Let me configure. So for this some mandatory configurations will be there. Okay. I told you this is the two-way editable. Now I can see listener is there, right? I'll keep listener 1. See, automatically it got reflected. And this is the GUI, graphical user interface. At the same time, I can change through from XML as well. If you come here, now listener 1 is there, right? Just remove, and I'm going to add source listener. As soon as I come here, automatically it is going to be reflected over there. And I don't want to save that one, automatically it will change. See, source listener. This is the two-way editable. This is the another beauty of this Anypoint Studio. If you are comfortable with the XML code and all, you can directly change over here, or else you can simply change in the GUI as well. Okay. Now, okay. So this and all I explained, right? Every project in Mule4 is a Mavenized project. All our XMLs are placed under SRC main Mule. Okay. Other files will be stored under SRC main resources. Okay. Now HTTP listener. What this guy will do? HTTP listener. This HTTP listener is going to listen the request which user or client sends. Okay. How they are going to send the request to this listener? Okay. By using postman, we can send a request to this guy so that he is going to listen our request and he will process further component. Okay, if you want to use this HTTP listener, some mandatory configuration details required. Okay, mandatory configuration required: host, port, and as well as path. Okay, now let me come back here. Double click on it. See, now it is showing two issues found. Okay, these are all not errors. Okay, just this is the configuration. So that's why it is showing like this. See, configuration reference is required, path is required. Where is the configuration? This is the configuration. And you can see there is a cross button in the down with the red symbol. Can you see here? So here we need to do changes. So by seeing this, every human being easily understand. Okay, where it is expecting and what it is expecting. So connector configuration is required. Just click on this plus button. So it is asking some general connection configuration. Here we need to provide the protocol, host, and as well as port number. Okay. So in the protocol we have HTTP and HTTPS. Okay. So this is the interview question, guys. What is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? Just make a note and try to prepare answer for this. Okay. Basically, HTTP is nothing but hypertext transfer protocol, and HTTPS is nothing but secure hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, if you are using this HTTPS, it is going to more secure to your application. Okay, this I will explain in your later classes. If you want to do this HTTPS configuration, we have to provide some certificates, key store and trust store. So here, see trust store configuration, key store, these and all we need to provide. Okay, then only it will work. So for time being, we will go with the default port protocol. And the next option is host. Host is nothing but here in the real time, they are going to provide the host name. Okay, which host you want to connect. They will provide the address. So here I'll get two options. One is 0.0.0.0. Okay, o.o.o. Okay, this is the default one. That means, what do you mean by 0.0.0.0? Anyone having any idea about this?
Localhost?
Localhost, very good. No, my question is localhost is the other option. Okay, here my question is, what is the 0.0.0.0 means?
It's the IP address for localhost.
Very good. See, IP address means your system IP is different, right? It will start, some 162.188.2 dot something love love, right? But here they mentioned 0.0.0. That means it is going to allow any kind of IP address. Okay, 0.0.0 means it is going to allow any kind of IP address. Okay, in each and every machine, your IP address will be different. Correct? Am I right or not? So if
Yeah.
you want
Yes,
to check your IP address, you just go to the terminal or command prompt, just type ipconfig so that it is going to display your IP address. Clear? Okay. If we provide 0.0.0 means it is going to accept any kind of IP address. Okay. You can select either this or you can select localhost. Localhost is nothing but it is going to take your system IP address by default. Okay, so I'll go with this localhost, or you can select anything is fine. Let me go with this localhost, and the port is 8081. Okay, Here, port you have to provide any 4 digits. Okay. Now, if I click on this test connection, let me see whether this port is available or it is occupied with. See, test connection failed, could not deploy the application. Why? Because see, this port is not at all available. Maybe this port is busy with something. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll click on OK. I will change this port number to 2020 or 2021. Let me keep this year 2021. Now let me test this connection. Okay, did I selected HTTP? Yes. Okay. Why it is asking? I didn't change any connection, right? Let me cancel this. Let me open it again. Come back. 8085. Let me provide this. Okay, now my test connection is successful. Click on OK. Remember this port number 8085 is available. Click on OK.
How to check which port number is available?
Just you just provide any 4 digit number over there. Click on test connection. If it is succeeded, that port is
Yeah, I
available.
given many port. Yeah, I given many four digits port number, but that was not taken.
No, it will take for sure. See, just now I provided right 8085. It is working. Earlier I gave 8081. It is not taking. Okay. You can try with
Is there an option to check
8088.
which port is available? Is there any option?
No, no. By default, many ports will be available. Okay. Because why it is not working for 8081? Earlier I used some projects right. Still that project got saved in my workspace. So that's why it is not allowing. So for you, definitely it will allow you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can recheck.
Okay.
Yep. And then path. Path is nothing but resource path. Okay. You have to provide some name. I'm giving as mule. Okay, this is the configuration. Now what I will do, I'm going to take one logger. So what do you mean by this logger? What is the use of this logger? This guy, he's going to print the output. Okay, now in the message, what I will do, I'll write something. Welcome to studio. This is my first project. Okay, so you don't want to save anything, just click here and then right click on it, run this project. See now in the console, you can see like how it is compiling everything. You can see over here. Can you see the output? So my application name is SN1, domain is the default domain. Status is deployed. You can see our status is deployed. Now let me clear this console. Okay, now I want to give some input to this guy listener. Okay, so come here, Postman, open this. You have to create the URL over here. So what I provided, protocol http colon slash slash. I use localhost, right? Provide the localhost colon. What is the port number I give? 80,
8081.
not 81. I changed, right? 81 is
It's
busy with
it's
85.
8085.
85.
80
85.
85. Very good. So this path I have to provide over there. 8085. What is the resource path I provided? Mule, right?
Yeah.
Let me open this. So this is the resource path I provide. Okay. Now we have to come here and hit this send. So you got 200. 200 means success response. Okay. If you come to the studio, click on this console, scroll right side, you can see you got the output. Whatever is there in the logger, it got printed. Welcome to studio. This is my first project. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Yes,
So
I
this
have
is.
seen base field.
Mhm.
Hello. I have seen some field called base path in listener. So what does
Okay.
that mean, sir?
Okay, let me open this connector configuration. Here, right? Base path.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you provide this base path over here, every time whenever you test an application, always you have to provide. Let me give you base path as API. Okay. Click on OK. So now if you come here and deploy this application, just save it. If you save it, automatically again it is going to redeploy your application. You don't want to run again. See, it is deploying now. If you do any small changes over here, just click on the save. Automatically it is going to save. Now you can see started app session 1. Okay. Started means changes got deployed. Now if I come here, if I click on the send button, what will happen? I'll not get the response. See,
Yeah, you should
40.
include API.
Yes, we have to write that base path over here slash API slash new. Now I got two double. That means success response. If you come here, you can see. Earlier I got an error, right? If I use this, see there, no listener found for the request mule. Okay. Available listeners are slash API slash mule. So it is giving some hint as well. Okay. So don't use this base path because already we are using general path over here. Okay. So don't use this option. Even in real time also we are not going to use this option. Clear? Now again it is
Yes,
going
sir.
to be deployed because I saved, right? See, now it is going to be deployed. As soon as you see started app means changes got deployed. Now if I come here, if I remove this, it will work. It will give 200. See? See, I got the output. This is how you can develop simple kind of application. Clear? Any questions here? No questions?
No, sir.
Okay, if you don't have any questions, I have some question. Okay, I use some logger and as well as HTTP listener, right? Where I want to keep that logger, where I want to keep that listener. Okay, now what I will do, I am going to delete this. I will take one flow. Okay, this is my flow. A typical flow contains three parts: source, process, and as well as error handling. Okay, source, process, and as well as error handling. Every main flow we have three parts: source, process, error handling. Okay, now what I will do, I will take this HTTP listener, I'll keep in the process block. So it is not coming, it is going back. Now what I will do, I will take this set payload component and I'll keep in the source. So it is not at all coming. Can someone tell me why it is not able to sit properly?
Because in source we keep listener only those details. In process we keep logger, set payload, all that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good, very good. So in the source block, we have to keep only triggers and all. Okay, let me take this listener. If I take this listener, it will trigger, right? So that it will sit over here. Okay, now if I take any scheduler, it is also triggering. If I keep here, it will sit. Okay, now if I take on your update file, this is also trigger. It will sit. Okay, only you can keep triggers, schedulers, you can keep in the source block. The remaining you can keep in the process block. Whatever you will keep in the source block, you cannot use in the process. Whatever you are going to use in the process, that it is not going to fit in the source. Let me give you one general example. So we have a bike key and as well as car key. Okay, if you take this bike key and you cannot insert for car, right? Similarly, if you have a car, that car key you cannot keep for your bike, correct? Similarly, here also same procedure. Whatever the source will be there which you are going to keep, that you cannot keep in the process, and vice versa. Clear? A typical flow contains three parts: source, process, and as well as error handling. Okay, in the source block we will keep all our triggers. In the process block we will keep remaining the components or connectors. And one more important thing is error handling. If you are facing any errors in the flow, that you can catch and keep it here in the error handling block. Okay, every flow contains these three parts. Clear? If you are clear, I'll go for next topic. Okay,
So how to identify the trigger and the process?
your voice is somewhat low. Can you make it louder?
From the palette, how to identify which one is trigger and which one is like which
Yeah,
one should be placed in the source and which one to
correct,
be placed in
correct.
the process.
Okay, so Very good question. This you will come to know by practice, or else like whatever I showed, for time being you can use only three. Okay, you can use HTTP listener, scheduler, and on your updated file only you can keep. Or suppose if you don't know which one you want to use over here for time being, just drag the component and keep it here. See, if it is not able to sit, that means this is not a good place for this. Again, you can drag and drop this. Okay, so this, while after few classes you guys will come to know which one you have to use and which place you have to use. Okay, this you will come to know by default. Okay, this is your first session, right? So you will get like little confusion. Don't worry, just follow my instructions so that you will come to clear. So for time being you have to use only listener, HTTP listener on your updated file and the schedulers in the source block. Apart from these three you can use anyone in the process. See, process, if you want you can keep like this, whatever you want you can keep in the process. See, like this you can keep all the components, depends upon your requirement. See, automatically backend code got generated. See, now some 30 lines of code is there. Now if I don't want all this, I am going to delete this. See, now clear, right? This we can call it as a flow. What is the definition of flow? A flow is nothing but collection of mule components or connectors. I can call it as a flow. See, here I use listener, right? Listener, and then I use logger. I will take one more logger. For this configuration is required, right? Just I am giving as mule. So here I will write this is main flow. Okay, here I'll write main flow started. Okay, this I can call it a, see, what is the definition of flow? A flow is nothing but collection of mule components or connectors. See, three different components or connectors are there, right? So this I can call it as a flow. Clear? See, what is flow? Flow is nothing but it is a collection of mule components or connectors. Okay, this I can call it as a flow. Okay, then types of flows. We have main flow, subflow, and as well as private flow. We have three types of flows. Okay, already we discussed about main flow. Okay, whatever I wrote here, this I can call it as a main flow. Okay, how many types of flows are there?
Three types:
What are they?
main flow, subflow,
Then private flow.
Private.
Very good. Main flow, subflow, private flow. Okay. So this is about main flow. Now what I will do, I'll come to the mule palette. I'll type on sub. I will find out subflow. See, now I want to drag this subflow. Where I want to keep, whether I want to keep up or down, wherever you want, you can keep. But how you will come to know? Can you see this dark black line? That means it is going to sit above this flow. or if I keep some down, you can see it is blinking here. Dark black line is there. It will come and sit here. Okay. Now guys, tell me what is the difference between main flow and subflow?
In
Main flow I
subflow, we
already
don't
showed you.
have source and error handling.
Very good. Subflow doesn't have any error handling mechanism and source as well. It doesn't have any source. See, the main difference between main flow and subflow is subflow doesn't have error handling, at the same time doesn't have any source. Let me take this listener, I'll keep. It will not insert because subflow doesn't have a source. If you want, you can change this name as subflow. Okay, now I will take one logger. In this logger, what I will do, I am going to write some message. Message is, hey, this is subflow. Okay. Now I want to call this guy. How can I call this? Can someone tell me? For this, there is no listener, right?
Yeah, we have to link to the main flow through
Yes.
flow
We have to
requirements.
establish some connection from main flow to subflow. Okay. Because in our main flow, we have listener. So that we have to link this flow. So if you want to establish a connection from one flow to other flow, you have to use the component called flow reference. You can take anywhere, whether here or here. You can take this flow reference. Okay. See, here it is showing some error. Attribute name is required. See, click here. You have to select which flow you want to call. I want to call my subflow. Okay. In the flow reference, you can change this name as calling subflow. If you want, you can write name. See, it got reflected here, calling subflow. Okay, now if I execute this program, let me save this. If I deploy this program, what is the output I may get? See, started app. Let me hit this URL. See, I got 200 success response. Then I'll come back here. What is the output I got it? Hey, this is main flow. That means this guy is executed. Hey, this is main flow. What is the next one? Hey, this is subflow. Where is subflow here? Subflow is here. Here, flow reference. It is going to call this guy and it is print the output. Then again, it will come back to the main flow and whatever the remaining part is there, that it is going to be executed. Main flow started. Clear? Okay. Any questions here? No questions? Okay. What I will do. So if you are not able to understand how flow is going, I am going to explain in different way. I will keep some breakpoint here. Okay. What is the use of this breakpoint? This breakpoint is going to stop the your
Process.
flow. It is going to stop the execution of the process. Okay. Now what I will do, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to run in the debug mode. so that as soon as we trigger this one, it will come to the logger and it is going to stop the complete process. Then we have to check our flow. See, now it is in debugging mode. See, now complete UI got changed. See, my application got deployed. Now I'll go to the postman. I'll click on this send button. Again, I'll come. Sorry, I'll come here. See, it got stopped over here. You can see dotted lines. That means our flow, as soon as I hit the URL, it will come to the listener. This guy listened the request and he forwarded here. From here, I kept breakpoint. It stopped the execution of the process. Now, if I want to see how flow is going on, okay, I want to click this next to processor. See here, now I am in the logger. If you open this, what is there inside this logger? We can say, hey, this is main flow. As soon as I click on the next processor, it is going to print the message over here. Let me click on this next processor, come to console. Can you see here? It got printed. Hey, this is main flow. Now it came to flow reference. Okay. Here, subflow is calling, right? We give subflow. So then what this guy will do, he is going to call this subflow. It will go here. Now let me click on this next processor. It will go directly here. Now whatever is there, it is going to print the message over here. Okay. Now if I click on this next processor, whatever is there inside this logger, it will print. Hey, this is subflow. It will print. See here, hey, this is subflow. It got printed. Again, from here to here it came. Okay, and whatever is there, it is going to print finally. Okay, click on this next processor. See, main flow started and all flows got executed. That's why it got quit. Now I am in the debugging mode. I want to come to the normal mode. Can you see three icons over here? Okay, click on the middle one. This is the API design. This is the debugging mode. This is the console. Okay, this is the design mode. This is the development. This is the debugging mode. Okay, now click on this console. You can see the output. Clear?
Yeah.
This is how you can debug your application. Okay,
We can
if you
put
are
anywhere in the break-even point, not in the first. If you want to put a break-even point in the last logger.
wherever you
So
want, you can keep. Okay, there is no
so
restriction.
yeah.
You can keep
In
wherever you want. But if I keep in the starting of the flow, that means you are new to this, right? So that you will come to know how the flow is executed. Okay. Now we have only 3 to 4 components so that we can easily guess. Okay. Going forward, we will have so many components or connectors. That time, wherever you want, you can keep. If you want to keep in the middle or end, that is your wish. Okay.
if I keep in the middle, so before we start the what are the previous loggers and outputs, they will be shown here in output in the console.
Yes,
Then
directly it will print the output. Directly it will print the
okay.
output. Okay, and remaining it is going to be stopped. Okay, now let me explain that one as well. Okay, now understood, right? What is main flow and subflow? We have one more flow that is called private flow. See, if I come mule palette, if I search private, I will not get anything. Okay, take flow only. Take flow, drag and drop here, and the change name as private flow. Okay, so now I change this name as private flow. So what is private flow? What is the definition of this private flow? A private flow is nothing but a flow without source is called private flow. That means in the source part we have to keep empty. Don't keep anything in the source. Okay. If source is empty, then we will call it as private flow. If the source is empty, then that flow is called as a private flow. Let me keep something. Whatever I want, I can keep here. Okay. Lager 1, lager 1 here. I'll keep lager 2. Like this, you can keep a number of things, or simply what I will do, I can keep, hey, this is private flow. Private flow. Okay. Now, so if you want to call this private flow, how to call this?
Maybe again we have to give flow reference.
Here I have flow reference, right?
Yeah.
If I scroll down, I can see all this. But I want call both subflow and as well as private flow.
Okay, at the same time you want to call?
Yes, both.
Mm,
Anyone
oh,
having
there
any
must be
idea?
other component to call both the flows. There
Using
must be other
scatter
component.
Sorry?
using scatter gather
No,
scatter gather
scatter gather is used to send a message to multiple end system,
like we
not
have
to
to
calling.
add two flow references in each field and we can call it
Very good.
parallel, right?
Yes, we can take one more flow reference. Take this flow reference. Here you can call private flow. Now tell me guys, I am not going to deploy this application. If I deploy this application, what is the output I may get here? Can someone tell me?
First logger, main flow logger,
Okay, main flow logger will be printed. Then
and subflow logger.
subflow it will print. Then
Then the other logger in the main flow had
okay, it will come here. It is going to print this. Then
yeah.
it
And it
will go to
enters into
flow
private flow
Then
reference.
also.
it
Flow reference. Then again it will come back here, and it is going to print all the three
loggers.
loggers. Clear?
Yeah, one thing here, like you told, we have to call both the flow references at same time, right? So we are calling in different time, right? First subflow we are
Same time
calling.
means not like this. In the same flow, I
Okay.
want to call. Okay. At a time, you cannot call two people, right?
Yeah, I thought we are calling same time. So I'm
No, no, no.
also thinking.
See, what I mean, in same
Okay.
flow,
Okay,
in the
same
main
flow
flow, I
you
want to
mean.
call these two flows, not at the
Okay,
same
okay.
time.
Okay,
Even we
fine, I
cannot call
understand.
like two people at a time, right? Here also,
Yeah.
there is no option for that. Okay. So now,
Okay,
let me
thanks.
deploy my application. Click on this console. Just give me 2 minutes, I'll wind up. Okay. So now I'll come here, I'll hit this send button. Again, I'll come back here. See, flow came here. Whatever is there, it is going to print. If I click on the next processor, see, this guy printed. Then it came to flow reference. It will go to subflow. It will print, hey, this is subflow. Then again, it will come to the main flow. And main flow logger is executed. Main flow started. And again, it went to flow reference. And it will call to logger 1, logger 2. Then, hey, this is private flow. Clear? Now nothing is there. See, it is disable mode. That means our entire flow got completed. So that's why it is in disable mode. Now I'll come back to design over here. Okay. So everything got printed, right? If you don't want to this breakpoint, if you want to remove this, right click, remove the breakpoint. Okay. Okay, guys, do you have any questions here? No questions? Okay. So today what we discuss, can someone like summarize this class? What we discussed in a high level?
Yeah, we have discussed about flow, and we have discussed about package explorer things, source main, all those things we have discussed,
Okay.
and anatomy of the Anypoint
Studio.
studio,
Very good.
and different types of the flows which we have,
Okay.
subflow, main flow, private flow, and how
Okay.
to use them, like how we call other flow with uh, flow
Program.
reference.
Very good.
And debug mode you have showed us, like how we
Yes.
debug the flows in the debug mode.
Very good. Perfect. So within 1 hour, we learned so many things. Okay. In the span of 1 hour, what we discussed, we created how to create a brand new project in Anypoint Studio. Then we discussed about Anypoint of platform overview and as well as anatomy of Anypoint the studio. Then we discussed about flow. What is flow? What is flow? Flow is nothing but collection of mule components or connectors. So what are the different types of flows available in the MuleSoft that we discussed? Then we tested how to debug an application, whatever the application which we created. For that, we run in a debugging mode as well. Okay, this is what we discussed in the span of 60 minutes. Correct?
So
Any
what is the
questions?
main advantage of this debug? Uh,
See, debugging is nothing but the process of identifying errors. See, right now we did not get any error. Okay, so basically when we are going to use this debugging mode, if you are getting any errors inside the application, okay, if we are not able to track exactly where it is going to happen, in that case we are going to use this debugging. Debugging is nothing but
Hmm.
it is a process of identifying the errors. Okay, now I kept one breakpoint. I showed you how this flow is executed internally. Okay, if you don't keep breakpoint, directly hit the sender, okay, in the postman, you will get directly this, but you are not able to understand, right, where it is calling, from where to where it is going, everything you can see by using this breakpoint. Clear?
yeah,
Hello.
Okay guys,
Hello.
today your task is, I hope everyone install the studio, try to create a project, okay, and then create these three flows. Okay, so on the console, I want to see all these outputs. Hey, this is main flow. task done by, write your name. Here this is subflow, or else simply you can write main flow task done by your name, subflow task done by your name, private flow task done by your name. I have to see all the three outputs. Okay.
Sir,
Now what I will do, I will check with the management. I'll ask them to create a WhatsApp group so that I can give you daily one or two interview questions I can post over there. And at the same time, while practicing, if you are facing any issues, you can take a screenshot and post in the WhatsApp group so that anyone can help you very easily.
yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have two questions, sir. Like when to
Go
use
ahead.
this private flow. Hello.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
When to use this private flow. And other question is, does the flow go back to the main flow after printing the message in the last logger in the private flow, or it stays there itself?
If anything is there, it will go, or else it will not go. See, already private flow got ended right here. Then it will stop over here. If nothing is there right here, if something will be there, definitely it will go. Okay.
I mean, when to use this private flow? I mean, apart from this
This
main flow and
private
subflow.
flow, yeah, yeah. Okay. So this private flow, it is going to be generated automatically as soon as you import RAML from the design center. Okay. Once design is done, okay. So this flow and everything you will get automatically. That I will show you once I start design, so that you will get more idea on this. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah. Clear, guys? If you don't have any questions, I'm gonna wind up this session now. So we'll catch up tomorrow same time.
Okay. Fine.
Any questions, Radha? Okay, guys, we'll catch up tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks all.